So I'm making this video because I think we need to bring to each other's attention authenticity and inauthenticity. And it's an actual real fact of life, consistent vibration or an avoidance of. And I didn't know it so much to be like a consistent, divisive, conditional aspect until I'm in this soul reunion pathway where someone thinks he can use that soul pathway as a I don't know, I don't even want to worry about him actually, but inauthentic persistence for a boyhood reality to come to fruition when it has nothing actually to do with the authenticity of the whole path. So he keeps trying to get my attention on him for various little aspects that he might overhear or oversee, and he thinks if I draw her attention to this, I will get her attention, and that is his curation of what he believes the soul reality is in his baby spiritual attitude. That's like taking bits and pieces from real life and saying, I want my life to be like this. When we don't actually get to choose that, okay? All the choosing we did for a soul path reality of our feet on this planet was done before we birthed. So when you get here, you don't get to get your little special shopping cart and go down your special little mall of life and say, well, I would really like this. And I would really like that. And I am not going to leave this shop until I get that. You know, you don't get to do that. You get to do that with your dollars. That's why you make dollars. And then you go and buy stuff and you put it in your car and you go home and you bought something. There it is, lifeless, but you could wear it, you could drive it, you could have it in your house. It's lifeless. It's material, it's something to enjoy, and it's done. You don't do that with people on the spiritual birth path. It's planned before you get here, so you have to shush sometimes and not use your shopping cart. It don't matter who you're titled as. It don't matter who you know. You don't get to go like this with your magic wand or your, excuse my language, penis and say, I think I will have this because of my status in the world. Now, that's what's been happening, but as a divine intervention, I'm not here to play along with the shopping cart. The little boys, the do as you're asked, otherwise I will not show up. I don't freaking care. Okay? I don't care what size your penis is on your forehead with your status or how many people are following it. If you treat me like shit, you won't be on the divine path. So this is a reminder for those who think that they can play the world in a charade. You can't mess with an angel who's come here to live by her word. There ain't nothing on earth that you got that I want to keep in my little hands and think I'm so special. But when I go back to heaven, heaven will say to me, oh, you got that special thing from that person, that thing that you could hold in your hands. No, when I go back to heaven, it's not even a word said. It's just a gratefulness light that thank you for doing your part. However that turned out, thank you for doing your part. It's not, show us what you got. It's, show us who you knew that had status in the world. Show us what labels you accumulated that everyone else could appreciate. So it's really hard to get through to some people that you're not here for their decoration. They keep wanting to show you a decoration. They keep wanting to play games. They keep wanting to play games with themselves. It's very interesting where we all come from and where we have to meet at. And that's really all I have to say. Because you can't get through to some people. And so any divine union with me is when a man takes a knee humbly. Now, most men don't mind doing that. I've known a lot of men across my nearly 5 decades. And I'm talking about from when I was a youngster. Like I can remember at 6 or 7 years old with family gatherings in the backyard that I was treated so appropriately by not necessarily the highest awareness, like in consciousness evolution. Like I felt as a child I was probably more evolved than this adult I was speaking to, but the adult treated me with a divine union. Like, I hold place and space for you, and all of this was unsaid, but I remember the feeling of it, that I was safe, that I had space to be heard and like listened to as myself. So that's where the adults don't put pressure on the soul, and so too through life. No one needs to put pressure on the soul, okay, because your authenticity is who you are. So if someone's trying to pressure you to do something, and if you conform, that's the state of the world today. So I know that there is a lot of divine masculine on the planet that have learned that holding space for others is more important than putting their face on show. So too have I learned that growing up in a world where the power play is a lot to do with money and appearance, attractivity, and being a somewhat attractive appearing person is just a part, I've learnt to understand, is a part of my soul's reality, because the divine message that comes through me, it just all blends. It's a design, okay? This soul, Teresa, what she is to live out, her size, her timing, her her expanse. Just like anyone else, you look the way you look for even unspoken reason, learning. So don't think that attractivity makes life easier for you. It means you have to go through things where there are barriers in the world, where people treat you a certain way because of how you look. So it's one of the highest truths to treat each other as souls past the physical appearance, because you don't know what soul you're dealing with through the appearance. You don't know where they've been in their eternal landscape. You don't. But we're very immature on this planet in the 3D that just judges people on the way they look and what they can get from them. And so we are bursting out of that. And so it feels like there's no more time for easy does it chatting about this expanse. Because I still feel I'm treated in this divine reunion and union for heaven and earth, masculine and feminine, he is just very null-minded. What have I got in my cart that I've asked for? So only that which he asks for, he's expecting. When life is like this bigger thing to do with the masculine and the feminine, the universe and us on earth. So our yang creativity and the fact that we're here as spirit. So when these two come together in peace and harmony, love, light, law is all, it will be a very good shift, a supportive, loving shift. But we are very much different mentalities. That is very much different mentality. His accumulation of being on the earth is very self-centered. And when I say self-centered and we think of what we know of the earth, it means that we can easily shut down anything to do with anyone else, really, like shut it down, and life becomes, we get what we get, like what we want this, have we got it yet? Have we got it yet? Have we got it yet? That's how fucking shallow life on earth has become. Like, I didn't realize how much. I seriously didn't. I thought on this divine union path that there was someone who he's established a little bit in the public eye. Like he had 300,000 followers, right? There's 8 billion people. So 300,000 followers, and it's doubled since I've known him. From the outset, you would think that his divine union from which he speaks of things, that he's soulfully inside it. But as soon as something comes along that he wants to hold and control, there's a back door happening behind his prayer poses of, I'll do anything to control you because I have to maintain my divine persona. So if you get in the way of my divine persona, but along comes an angel to assist Earth, to meet you. It's a whole different ball game. Don't even come at me with, I've got to keep your persona. Don't come at me with human shit. We're lifting it out of that century, just to describe minimally the breadth of that. I feel like I even waste my time to mention that that's a shopping cart persona. It is like a burial ground for human consciousness rising. It's like, do as you're told for my sacred persona. The sacred has nothing to do with do as you're told. It's got to do with meet, heal whatever you got to heal, learn from each other, and rise. It's got nothing to do with being do as you are told. So that's what I'm dealing with. And yeah, no. I'm trying to share with you a little bit of what goes on to do with this. Because it ain't no muck around to do with persona. It just is not. Okay? Seriously, how far have we all come and we think our God is going to be found in a persona we uphold? Do we actually believe anything on earth is going to be held up if we're taking attention for ourselves and putting it on ourselves? No. So we work for the divine, and when you hold yourself in prayer position, you let go of that. Okay? Now, it might take years, but as a leader of that, I lead with that. There is no, you got to forget about your persona. As in, if you're going to emphasize putting forth, if you're going to avoid doing something authentic, like actually like put yourself out there as yourself, right? And decide, and it's mainly for the young people, which is why I'm dealing with someone who just hasn't grown up. Like, he's 39 in a couple of months, or not even that long, and he just hasn't grown up. A lot of people start to realize that, you know, by this age, you can't live off a persona. But when someone just runs away with themselves and thinks they're going to get attention instead of actually stopping and grounding and showing themselves. The people who don't stop, ground and show themselves, I don't even know them. They might be this, that, or the other. I might see them occasionally, whatever, like on the screen or on the TV or whatever, hear them on the radio. But the only people that really serve a meaning in our lives is when, say, some lyrics hit you, or something that the world is doing hits you. It's like resonant. It's like, oh, I've been thinking of that, or I'd like to do that, or whatever, or something's going on in the world. I feel a calling to go and do that. You know, life is not a persona in that effect. Life is actually hitting you, and that's authentic. I got no time for anything where people are that bored with themselves because they've been inauthentic, putting on something to get something. Because that's the artificial, superficial right there in the shopping cart. Okay, and then they want to keep throwing in, give me something to do with that. Give me something in my trolley to do with that. No, push your cart on by. Okay, it's when life hits you, you've felt it, you've let it go in, and you haven't let your environment tell you who you are as a product of it. You've actually taken the time and acted on how you feel. That's authenticity. No one else can have that. We can all go, oh, I experienced that, oh, I experienced that, but we all experience it different. So when these spiritual teachers say, when you've experienced it, we are one. If I'm doing it and you experience it, we are one. Okay? That's like minuscule. All right? The next level that's happening is that person's going to walk away with that experience and experience their life differently from it. So all that really was you caught in the moment, you all experienced the same energy, and that's it. It is not a way to live. It is not the answer to the be all and end all. It was an experience. It changed every single person uniquely, and now they go away. But some spiritual teachers think they provided all the answers the person needed. They actually take on this extra phase that they envelope themselves into saying, I provide something more, but it's not anything more. What the people walking away do is follow on their spiritual journey, meet up with other people, learn, expand, and grow. So the spiritual teacher I've been involved with, he needs to do that for himself. You leave your gatherings, you listen to your own soul path, you experience something with people, just like when you go to a party or a gathering of family or anything else, you leave it, you get your own path, and you listen to your own messages, and you go. You have to detach from your status or your label or your job or your role. That is not who you are permanently, to like fixate on, I am the answer man, or I have this extra role that's involved in this. Otherwise, you're just going to keep thinking you do the one thing your whole life, when the divine is actually trying to say, yous were brought together, but guess what? There's another 7.5 billion people in the world. You don't have to worry about them following you. That's great. They've met you. They're not going to forget you anytime soon. Now, have you got any other ideas of where you're being called? Because if you're a big energy to help the planet, you should listen. Because you could probably gather a couple of billion if you ventured out your comfort zone and didn't cling to those you already know. Just a thought. And this is all coming from a divine angel of God. Now, I didn't want to have to do this description, but as time has gone on, I now see from my reality, it didn't matter to me. What I didn't want to say angel for was a persona. I wanted people to know that when you reach to the highest and work with the highest of Christ's light. Okay, it takes it nearly takes some, like, the only way I can describe it is like bearing down, nearly like giving birth to yourself though. It's like, this is tough. This is tougher than I ever thought. This is like, I'm actually releasing something so that I can grow. When you choose to step up, that's what we're actually doing. But a lot of the time on earth, because it's in slow motion, we don't let go. So when you've actually done like a birthing process of the old to the new, it's just a given reality, which is why everything on earth comes as such a shock sometimes after I see it occurring and 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 occurring. I'm just like, oh my God. Only because, like, we have divine at our fingertips, but we don't access it. And so this divine union is really like a clashing, what do they call it when two worlds collide? Because I cannot change. I will not change, as in my divine soul union with myself and reunion with another part of my soul self, in this traveling aspect of two souls coming together for like powerful interludes, I would describe it as. We just interlude together. Right? But this bloke, you know what this bloke does with it? He takes a human mental capacity, like when he hears me say it, he goes down to the lowest denomination of sexuality. Now, if you want to use sexuality in this reunion, you step it up. You don't hide and take it like to the smallest denomination, which is what he's doing, which is invisible. 3 years. Pussy, that's all I can say. He's a pussy. He's literally, this is two worlds colliding where there is a, I can't even explain his. I wish he was honest so you could hear his part of it, but he is like, he hides it all. Oh my God, does he put on a fucking show? He's carrying on like normal. Like he knows various things about me and he goes off with other women and does them. And the stupidity is, I don't even want to go there, okay? I don't want to go there because it's too artificial. It's like, I do these things and then I do these things and then I do these things and I do these things. And all I'm really doing towards you is I'm a mute consciousness that wants to annoy you all the time and touch you. Okay, so let's just leave that there. Leave it there. And the reason why I'm bringing this to you is not only for my getting it out, because I know a lot of people are listening, whether we see the followers numbers or not. A lot of people are listening, and I've literally had enough for a very long time, because the invisibility gets in the way of everything of your usual functioning, if anyone would like to imagine that. And it's 3 years, and we have someone walking around doing sacred posing, and I am pretty much bringing out what I thought him and I thought he was higher in substance, so I thought we would meet and there would be this explosion of two worlds where he learns from me and I learn of what he knows, but it would happen together. But I now see that due to the energy and the thought process on Earth and the various things that people get stuck in, I literally have to maintain the highest awareness, right? Because he doesn't know it. And just keep doing that. Because it ain't a pose. It ain't like, if you look at Matías De Stefano's social media on Facebook, which I have recently dumped some things on to do with honesty, there's lots of freaking slowed down posing and this and that. But when you get legit with divinity, you just show up for life. You show up and you speak. You don't take your time like, oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to speak at all to do with his world. Because I've thought by speaking his world, he would see the insight of what he carries on with. But he doesn't even see that either. So let's finish it here, because I would just like to say being legit and showing up and being as true and honest as you can be is the best thing. Like the most refined wine, when people learn that that gets better and better and better for their life. When you literally avoid being honest with what you know is true, giving yourself to it, and you're in some kind of mental capacity that says, I prefer to take a shopping cart this way because I've decided I want this, and this, but yet you know this way is the legit way to follow, but it would be difficult, that's the way to go. That's where the wine in you gets more refined as a soul. This way is like a dick pushing a trolley, hoping it'll get filled because of the way he looks and what he can put on show. Now, there might be some qualities holding on to that trolley, but he doesn't call them important. What he can put in the trolley, he calls important, but not the person that should be developing refinement. He preferred to push a trolley and get it filled. I'm not in that direction. Not that I haven't had trolleys to push and, whatnot, but there was a decline in wanting things in my trolley. It was more of a, what more has life got to offer? And that's just a natural progression for me. And still to this day. And onwards. I see there's a benefit with any of us who have money to assist those who are freaking starving. So if you got any spare cash, share it around. God bless. Thanks for listening. See you again soon.